Hi folks, this is all the fruit that I'm really excited because after years finally I'm gonna try again the best breadfruit I've ever tried in my life. Here it is. I am at the Tenerife Palmettum, definitely the best botanic garden on the Canary Islands, and yeah, they also have breadfruit. Breadfruit, well, it might be quite popular from the story about the mutiny on the Bounty. Actually grows not only in the Caribbean and in the Pacific Islands, but also on the Canary Islands. Well, if you have forgotten the story about the mutiny of the Bounty, it was caused by a breadfruit, but probably not by this one. I have told the story once, maybe I should tell it again sometime. But basically the breadfruit it was caused by is this here. It was imported by Captain Bligh in order to feed enslaved people from Africa. And the mutiny on the Bounty was actually the smallest mutiny this fruit caused, because once it was introduced to the Caribbean, the Africans revolted again and again against this fruit because it's not very tasty. However, this one over there is incredibly tasty. Mr. Carlo Morici, the boss of the Palmettum, says that it's probably some hybrid. Well, let's do a taste test. Actually, you can eat breadfruit when it's really ripe. The problem is we are towards the end of January, and winter is really not the best time for breadfruit. But we have here one on the ground. No, this is too tough. It's no use even trying to eat it. Ah, yes, there are a couple parts which are less tough, but still, let's try and find a better one. Because this is gonna lose the competition anyways, but let's make the competition fair, at least a little bit more fair. Here there seems to be a more ripe fruit. Oh, ripe breadfruit. Actually, this gives it quite an advantage because this breadfruit is more ripe than this one. So this breadfruit is from this tree. A little bit small, could be due to the fact that it grows here in a subtropical climate, could be due to the fact that we're in the middle of the subtropical winter. But look, leaves which look like normal breadfruit leaves. Probably quite a small cultivar. Often the trees are very big, or maybe the climate here is not so good for it because the upper branches are dying. Well, let's try the ripe fruit from this more or less normal breadfruit. Yeah, it's ripe enough, it should taste good. It's not the... It's a good one, folks. Yep. Tastes a little bit underdeveloped, but it tastes more sweet than most breadfruits I've ever tried. Normally, a ripe breadfruit tastes like a boring avocado, but this is more sweet than a boring avocado. I wonder if it was pollinated by the other one, or even if it may come from the other one, because to be honest, this doesn't taste like a normal breadfruit. This tastes like an unripe breadfruit from the other tree. Let's see, well, they are similar, but not that similar. Now let's go to this one. This is the interesting one. Less ripe, but coming from a tree which looks very different. I already posted a video a couple years ago where I wanted people to identify this variety, but Senor Carlo Morici told me it's probably not a variety, it's probably a hybrid. He didn't say with what. Maybe it's not well known. Often we have some stuff, oh there are more. Often we have some stuff growing somewhere, it's incredibly tasty, people cultivate it, nobody knows exactly what it is. Folks, we struck gold here. Look at that. I've waited for years for that harvest, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 incredibly nice fruit, although the last one might be rotten. It was lying in water. So those are all from this tree with incredibly tasty fruit. Which one are we gonna try? Nah, maybe the first one we found. It looks to be the most ripe. Now I'm really excited. Will it be as good as it was a couple years ago? Will it taste like real pudding? A little bit disappointing at the first. Not bad, but not as good as I remember it. I would say it tastes like cake dough or cookie dough. Yeah, cookie dough. You know this thing? This goo you make cookies from, and the little children and often even adult people, they really want to eat this goo while it's still raw. While the cook usually wants them to wait till it's made into cookies. Of course, the cook will prefer cookies over dough. He's not called the dough, he's called, or the Dutch, he's called the cook. Or she, or it. Not as good as I remember it. But definitely better for raw consumption than a normal breadfruit. Pity it's not as good as I remember it. I've waited for years for the pleasure to try this again. Still, quite good. Cannot complain. So folks, what do you think this is? If it's a hybrid, what did they hybridize the breadfruit with? Or what did it hybridize with on accident? Because that happens a lot. You find the seedling, you think it's a hybrid seedling, but often you cannot really identify the parents. What is this, folks? What did they hybridize to get the tastiest breadfruit in the world? Please tell me. Apart from that, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful Tenerife Palmettum. Soon I'm gonna make a playlist about the Palmettum, then you can watch probably over 100 Palmettum videos. And of course, folks, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.